Well, looks like the Fearless One will be Divas Champion a lot longer than normal in this version. Hello everyone, welcome to another What If story on WWE, and this What If was requested by a friend on Facebook. Now I do have Facebook, not Twitter, so that's one thing you need to keep in mind. My friend requested something that I think a lot of people would probably roll their heads at, roll their eyes at about, but this is what the scenario is. What if Nikki Bella didn't lose the Divas Championship at Night of Champions? Now, this is actually very interesting for many reasons. Because we all know the original script was for Nikki Bella to lose the Divas Championship to Charlotte Flair at the Night of Champions pay-per-view. But I think people need to understand about one specific thing that WWE like to do. The only reason why they had Nikki Bella as Divas Champion is so that way she could just pass AJ Lee. As soon as she passed AJ Lee, Vince had no need for Nikki Bella to be the champion. It was the same thing for the New Day. New Day were only tag team champions just to pass Demolition. As soon as they passed Demolition, they took the belts right off them. So it was kind of the same scenario for Nikki Bella. The moment she passed AJ's record, Vince felt like there was no need to keep her champion anymore. But let's just say for an argument that Vince wanted to extend her championship reign just a little bit more. My estimation is that if she was to keep the championship through Night of Champions, it would be quite interesting scenario because some people might think who would face her next. Well, I'm just going to go through some scenarios of what I think that could possibly happen. We've now come to Night of Champions, where Nikki Bella is on day 301 of her incredible Divas Championship reign. Nikki Bella smiling, being fearless Nikki the way she is, and looking as confident and as beautiful as always. I think that was the one thing that really suited Nikki Bella well with the Divas Championship. She was such a diva. She was just so diva-like, and she just had the looks to back it up. The fact that she was the Divas Champion, so at least she had something going for her. Nikki Bella's title reign as a whole really wasn't all that impressive. She beat AJ Lee twice, once at Survivor Series to win the title, and then beat her again at TLC via cheating by spraying something in her eyes, and then from there she didn't quite necessarily defend her title a lot. So Nikki Bella's title reign kind of fell flat. She did defend her title at Fastlane against Paige, but that was just a little filler match. Then at Extreme Rules, she defended her title against Naomi, and then at Payback, she lost to Naomi and Tamina in a tag team match when the Divas Championship wasn't on the line. And then she defended her title at Money in the Bank against Paige. But considering that we're continuing this from Night of Champions, everything that up to the point remains the same. So sadly, we have to say Nikki Bella cheats to break AJ's record, just so that we can fill it in. Some people, including my friend, might feel like if I should just rewind it back a little bit to make it look like that Nikki Bella doesn't cheat to beat AJ's record. Yeah, that would be something I would do, but you told me to start the story from what if she didn't lose the title at Night of Champions, so this is where I'm starting the story. Nikki Bella cheats to break AJ's record, looking all as smug as always, being so happy she's now the longest reigning Divas Champion. Night of Champions comes around. She's holding her title up in the air, kind of like how she normally would, looking as beautiful as always and confident as always. Charlotte Flair then makes her way out, along with Ric Flair and Paige and Becky. But like I said, in the original script, Night of Champions was when Nikki Bella was going to fall and lose her championship at the hands of Charlotte Flair. But because this is a scenario of what if Paige still kept the title or didn't lose the title at Night of Champions, we're going to have to say that just for the sake of the storyline, Nikki Bella gets past Charlotte at Night of Champions. Would she win clean? Yes, because basically the rules of that match was if Nikki Bella got DQ'd, she would have lost the title. So Brie Bella and Alicia Fox shouldn't have had to do anything either way. So this was the one time Nikki Bella had to win clean. And now at this point, it's kind of difficult to say who would beat her, considering Charlotte Flair just had a turn. Charlotte Flair was originally the one to beat Nikki, and considering that at this point in time, and the fact that Nikki Bella was having a neck injury on the horizon at this point, it's kind of hard to say would she continue being champion. By the time she hits Survivor Series, she would have completed a full year as the Divas champion, because she won the title at Survivor Series at the hands of AJ Lee. So Nikki Bella would be at 365 days in her title reign by the time she hits Survivor Series. So I'm guessing just for the sake of the argument that she makes it to Survivor Series as the Divas champion. Who does she fought at Hell in a Cell? Let's just say Paige, just because, Team Bella was feuding with PCB. But here's a different change. I think Team Bella would be the first team to break up. Because in the original, PCB were the original first team to break up because of the fact that Charlotte Flair won the Divas Championship, Paige got jealous, and Becky stayed loyal. So at this point, since Charlotte didn't win the title, there'd be no reason for Paige to get jealous. So Paige would then have a try at Nikki Bella at Hell in a Cell, but would end up falling short. Who would I have her lose the championship to at Survivor Series? Well, I'm gonna have to say Becky. Becky Lynch, Patrick? Yeah, of course. Why not? Having Becky Lynch win a title a lot more earlier than planned definitely would have been a good move. And don't forget, if Becky wins the Divas Championship, then the women's title story might change as well. Because the only reason why Becky won the SmackDown Women's Championship was only because fans felt sorry for Becky, and they felt like Becky Lynch deserved the championship reign. And besides, I feel like Becky kind of looked like a diva anyway at that point. And besides, logically, she's the only diva-looking type diva at that point in time to hold the Divas Championship. Sasha Banks, on the other hand, a lot of people would say, oh, you could always have Sasha Banks do it. The reason why I wouldn't have Sasha do it is because, the Divas title would look ugly on someone like Sasha Banks. The Women's Championship didn't come in until WrestleMania. I can't just speed up the process of the women's title coming in. We had to keep things accurate, just like WWE. So if we're going to change a story, we have to make sure things stay accurate and make sure if things change, if we want to change anything. Like I said, Team Bella would be the first team to break up this time. Why? It would be Alicia Fox. Not the fact that Alicia gets jealous, that Alicia actually screws Nikki Bella out of the Divas Championship. She would be tired of Nikki Bella running around the Divas division saying she's the greatest diva of all time. So Alicia Fox would intentionally get Nikki Bella to lose her title. Alicia Fox would attack Brie Bella, and this would cause Nikki to get distracted. Nikki Bella sees what Alicia Fox just did to Brie, but by the time she turns around to try and do something, Becky gets her in the disarmer, forcing Nikki to tap out to the disarmer. Fans go wild. At this point, I'm guessing that we could have a jealousy scene with PCB. I guess we could have pulled the trigger on Paige, and she can turn heel then. So that's where so we can have Paige turn heel a lot later. So Paige turns heel due to jealousy, just like she does as per normal. But this time, with Alicia Fox screwing Nikki Bella, this would set Nikki and Brie up for a face turn. Why them, Patrick? Do you think Alicia Fox turning face would have been a better decision? Well, yeah, but I'll tell you why it should be Nikki and Brie. The reason why it should be Nikki and Brie is because they've got more of a fan base. You got to go by fan base and fan perspective. So if you listen to the Bella Twins whenever they come out, they have a bigger fan base. Nikki Bella has a bigger fan base because she's still around, but when they were together, they had an equal share fan base. 50% people loved Nikki and 50% of people loved Brie. So at least they had an equal share of fan base at that point. And considering they're still together, they would have a 50% ratio between their fan base. And considering that they are loved by so many people, like female fans, so the Bella Twins would have been more the logical reason to turn face. And the reason why I say this is because the fans normally love to cheer, like when it comes to women fans, maybe like in their teen years or growing into the 20s, they would want to love and cheer the champion. Like with AJ Lee when she was Divas champion. Everyone loved to cheer her because she was the champion. People would buy her shirts because she's the champion, and they think she was a good role model as the champion. Same thing goes for Nikki. People bought her shirts and Brie Bella shirts because they were the popular divas. They were the number one divas at that time. Would Becky get more fan base? Yes. Becky always had a big fan base, and with her getting her hands on the Divas title in this story, would definitely shake her fan base. What happens at TLC? Well, Nikki Bella gets her rematch, of course, but she would still lose, all because Alicia Fox would come out and, cost her the match again. Now, a lot of people would think that, having Nikki Bella, get screwed over would not make, Becky look like a credible champion. But you know what I think? Since Becky really loves a good fight, she would probably give Nikki Bella a title match on a Monday Night Raw. And I think she would make it clear that she promises that she'll make sure nobody interferes. Since Becky is still pretty much aligned with Charlotte Flair, I think Charlotte would probably take out Alicia Fox, just certain she doesn't do anything. And just for the storyline purposes, we'll still have Becky go over Nikki. Now, how would this affect 2016? Does Nikki Bella still go down with her neck injury? Now, from what I read, the reason why she went down with that neck injury is because of her rack attack. And the reason for her rack attack was the reason why she had all those neck problems. Now, in this scenario, just for the sake of a story, and just because of the facts that people would think what would have happened down the line, I'm guessing maybe her not going through with the injury would definitely ease her up. But let's just say for the argument that she still went down with her injury. Because I think Nikki Bella going down with an injury still would have affected her, and she had a really serious neck injury. It's not like she did a crazy stunt to cause her to get injured. But let's just say because she was fighting with Becky, let's say it was her elbow instead. She was having elbow problems because she had the disarmer locked on her like 3 times, and considering her elbow probably would have gotten sore. Would Nikki Bella be out for a long extended time? Probably not. I'd probably give Nikki about at least probably by WrestleMania to come back. So just for 2 months, Nikki Bella is out injured. This is where I'll probably throw Becky in a feud with Paige, considering that Paige turned on her, as she's the one that turned heel on Becky instead of it being Charlotte. Would Becky turn on Charlotte, considering Becky's playing the Charlotte role? No, not really. I think Charlotte would still turn heel, but I think Charlotte would win the title a lot later than normal. When it comes to the Royal Rumble, I think at the Royal Rumble, it would probably be, Becky, Paige, Charlotte, and Sasha in a fatal 4-way. And I think this is where Charlotte becomes Divas champion. And then from there, everything plays out as per normal. Charlotte Flair still has a match with Brie Bella, considering Nikki Bella's out with a shoulder injury in this storyline. So Brie can still have her moment, almost winning the Divas Championship. And since we'd have Nikki Bella back by WrestleMania, this is how the storyline would play out. And just because we will still have the whole Total Divas storyline go down, with Lana wanting to take out Total Divas. But this time, with Nikki Bella being there, I think the storyline might change just a tad. Maybe no Alicia Fox would be added to this story. So it'd be Lana, Naomi, Tamina, Summer Rae, and Emma versus the team of Nikki Bella as the team captain, Brie, Eva Marie, Paige, and Natalya as the Team Total Divas versus Team Anti-Divas storyline. And who would win? Obviously, it'd be the Total Divas. Instead of it being Brie Bella getting the win, it would be Nikki Bella that gets the win. She'll nail the rack attack on Naomi and get the pinfall. So there you go. Nikki Bella has a WrestleMania win under her belt already. Yay! She gets a WrestleMania moment before she even gets one with John Cena. What a shame. At this point in time, I think Nikki Bella might not be able to do much. Some people might say, you could put her in a feud with Emma. True, that would make sense in the long run, but I kind of would bypass that just because, it's Nikki Bella. Brie Bella would eventually retire, like we all know, she would retire, and, the whole situation. Brie Bella retires because Daniel Bryan retired, so that would still happen. Nikki Bella at this point would be alone. She'd be all by herself, no Brie Bella. So if I'm gonna take a guess what's gonna happen with Nikki Bella, I guess just for sakes, she'd have matches with Paige. Because I think Paige would still be a heel at this point, so we can at least have her, fight with Paige at like a pay-per-view. I guess maybe Payback pre-show wouldn't be a bad idea. Becky and Emma would have a match at like the Extreme Rules pay-per-view kickoff show. So I think Nikki Bella would kind of, not really do a lot in this period. So I think by the time around about the draft comes, everything would realign with Nikki Bella. She'd be drafted to SmackDown as well as John Cena, and everything that happened in the first draft plays out per normal. Charlotte and Sasha have a big feud over the Women's Championship, while Nikki Bella, instead of being away for a few weeks, instead of being away for about one more month by the time SummerSlam comes around, she'd be having matches. And her feud with Carmella would happen as earlier than normal. Carmella would get a couple of matches as a face, but then eventually would turn heel, considering the fact that, Nikki Bella's in the spotlight. And Eva Marie would get a couple of matches, but, her whole storyline still plays out that she gets problems to prevent her from not wrestling. I guess at this point in time, everything would line up with Nikki Bella. She'd be in a feud with Carmella and Natalya, and then at that point, she'd have her WrestleMania moment with John Cena. So there you go. If Nikki Bella remained Divas champion, a past Night of Champions, I guess you could say she would have a better title run, but it would just been lengthened. I'm not trying to say Nikki Bella being champion longer is a bad idea, but I'm just saying, if you think about what would have happened in 2016 if she was still there, I'm guessing you'd have to take the risk on turning a few people heel, just so that you can get her, so that way you could at least get her in a feud. Sasha Banks would probably be one of the options. Paige, like I said, would have been an option. Emma would have also been an option, but I would have wanted to ignore that, just leave that to Becky, because that is what they originally had in mind. And the whole Charlotte and Natalya thing still happens as per normal. Because like I said, Charlotte would have won the title at the Royal Rumble. And everything with Charlotte just lines up as normal. So Nikki Bella at this point, I think it would have been better for her if she was injured. Because by the time she got injured, she was out for a while. And then when she came back, she immediately had something to do. If she was, after the whole total Divas stint, she would just be floating around in useless matches, in my opinion. Possibly Paige would probably be the only person she would feud with just for a few months prior. And would the draft change at all? Would anybody's draft positions would probably change? No, not really. Everybody would just remain the same to me. Because, like I said in my AJ Lee What If, the only draft person would have changed would have been Paige. Because Paige was in a feud with Natalya. So, I guess in the end, Nikki Bella being the Divas Champion a lot longer would have changed her, and her face turn would have happened a lot more earlier. So, at this point, like I said, by the time the draft comes, everything that happens to Nikki Bella plays out as normal. She feuds with Carmella, goes over Carmella, feuds with Natalya, loses to Natalya in the end, and then she'd get her WrestleMania moment with John Cena. So what did you guys think? Did you enjoy this video? Did you think did I say the right things with Nikki Bella? Do you think Nikki Bella could have, lost the title in October and still gone out with an injury? So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like and comment and subscribe. Catch you laters.